Why, hello there, fellow dogfighters. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Ostranauts Fire in the Hold. Episode 41. Always outnumbered, never outgunned. Alright, 45 meters a second seems fine. I'm going to spin it back around. Point at it. And get ready to tether. And my tethering controls are up here. Anything less than 50 is fine. You tether to things less than 50 is fine. So I'm just waiting on the distance to dip. Aligned and tethered. Done. We are still in the Galfed zone because it was claimed by me. Right, I'm not that far from my original land claim. So here's my land claim tucked between these two others. So I'm still in my own claimed zone. You know, if this is, let's say, a gold rush. It isn't, but, you know, kind of feel... Well, I am mining gold, technically. That's just a lot of minor errors. Some of the orange errors are kind of cleared. There was a lot of people in the YouTube comments that were, like, surprised that in a month and a day, 1.0 is going to be upon us. Yeah, I mean, with all the bugs and the features that I feel like are missing, it makes me wonder if the game is really ready for a 1.0 release. Don't worry, I share your concerns. I bought Ostranauts with my own money. It's not to say that I would ever allow a free game or even a sponsorship to cloud my judgment. I wouldn't. I decline more sponsorships than I accept by a factor of like 100. Mostly because, one, the money's not very good. Sponsorships don't pay out very much. And two, I'm not willing, well, more importantly, I'm not willing to really, you know, compromise who I am as a person for money. With that said, I've never been offered anything by Blue Bottle, the developer. I bought these games. I play them because my community voted for them, so I'm not even necessarily choosing to play these games. And yeah, all of my concerns of, is this game going to be really ready for the 1.0? I really don't think it will be. It's not to say that when they hit 1.0, they will stop patching bugs, though. Maybe we can interpret 1.0 as being feature complete with bugs, and then we'll have hot fixes to make it more stable or something. I don't know. I don't know. But I'd be really disappointed if there's still all of these, like, if the debug console is constantly orange, yellow, and red after a few months of 1.0, I will find that irksome. And also, if the bounty system still has ships pull like 2,000 or 200 Gs, like it's some sort of Cylon ignoring the laws of biological physics. Biological meaning that like G-forces that exceed about 10 is just gonna kill someone. Even with like grav pens, which are like fantastic. You know, in real life there isn't an injectable to be able to have to allow you to like survive higher Gs. I mean, maybe you can have like more oxygenated blood or something. I don't know. We're in sci-fi land. But regardless, my point is there's a lot of fundamental mechanics that I would want to be resolved with both the Gigs console, with whatever the bounty system might have in store, and the combat mechanics, before I feel like, oh yeah, it's feature complete. Yeah, as you say, Neo Scavenger, the is still quirky. I myself don't have a ton of time in Neo Scavenger, so I know it's quirky, but like I can't speak to that in detail. I'm not seeing any core here, but I'll do a few more little tunnels before I give up on this one. It'd also be neat to just turn your, like, I mean, I don't know. This would be more of a mod than like a feature I'd ever really want, but be able to turn your mass driver weapons to just like shoot up these asteroids a little bit to punch some holes, you know, some starter holes, so that you can assess them faster. But realistically, I think just having your ship sensors offer you some sort of insight would be enough. Blind mining, as if you can't prospect, feels a little weird. Oh, hi! I did not even see that. Okay, I need to obviously be a little bit more observant upon arrival. Cause, visor? Heat? I'm not alone, technically speaking, on this rock. I've got some company. Okay, we are gonna go low-key into spoiler land, so I'm gonna be blue for it. Meat is a side, like one of the storylines, side storylines of this game. There isn't any like main overarching story, but one of the side stories where in a lab they were trying to create like a infinite meat source because the world's cut off from Earth and they wanted to be able to provide meat, and they created meat that acts kind of like John Carpenter's The Thing. It tries to spread, and it gained sort of sentience a little bit, and it's hostile, and it can be destroyed for parts, and it becomes of its own storyline. And I'm not going to go into too much detail on the storyline. I've covered that multiple times in past runs where I've done the meat storyline. The point is, I do not want this meat to reach my ship, but it won't spread super quickly, so it's not like an active threat to me right now, but like, it shouldn't get any closer. You know, and you can destroy it as well, like with, you know, force. It's exhausting, but it's possible. It's sentient cancer that, yeah, it's like Warhammer 40k Nurgle. It's like a spreading disease. And the bigger points here is this. To talk about, I don't want to spoil the storyline, but if meat spreads to your ship, it could spread from your ship to other areas. So you always, if you ever encounter meat, you do not want it to spread to your ship. And if it gets on your ship, you want to resolve it well before you ever dock anywhere else, because if it's spreading to your ship, it will spread to other ships. And by spreading to your ship, what I mean is crossing the threshold of your, like, footprint. So if I have meat here, let's say, it's on my ship. It's not physically in my ship. I'm not physically interacting with, but it's anchored to my ship. You know what I'm talking about? So, like, if you get a micrometeorite strike, and you have debris, that debris follows you around. It's in your, like, gravity well. I'm calling it gravity well, but it's basically in your sphere of influence. And that's what I mean, is you don't want meat in your ship's sphere of influence, because once it's stuck to you, it poses a danger to anywhere you go and anything you interact with. So, I guess I'm slightly out of spoiler mode now, but basically I want to make sure this meat doesn't get anywhere close to my ship, and possibly and probably to destroy it before I leave this area as like just a public service. So I will take the public service. One other thing, and it's not a big spoiler, but one other thing is the meat won't happen early in the game. It's kind of it's a slightly difficult storyline to deal with, I suppose. And there are triggers along the way that you have to flag, and so you can't you can accidentally like trigger all the flags, but there are flags, and it will slow you down from just going, oops, we got meat. But back at K-Leg, what ends up happening with the meat quests, I guess I'm back to spoiler land here. So once you trigger, whoops, I didn't mean to grab that. Once you trigger the meat stuff, a lot of the derelicts that you interact with will be infested. And if you hate that, resolve the meat storyline, and then the derelicts you interact with once you resolve the meat storyline will stop being infested. Okay, cool. I got a little bit of charge left. This meat out here kind of looks dormant. It's kind of weird. I'm used to it moving around. I know they nerfed it or whatever to make it slower. I didn't miss any deposits, right? No. God, I keep picking up the wrong material. Let's try for the last one. I'm gonna need to do a battery swap. For too long, because I'm nearly bingo bats. This run is not a bust. I was just really hoping to find more than I did. Put a lot of effort into doing some exploratory mining tunnels after that, like, first good one, and I found a lot of bad ones. I think I'm, like, due for a good one, though. Like, if I quit now, I'm quitting while I'm behind, and not while I'm ahead. Not that, like, I'm fighting against time or anything like that, but I feel like I'm gonna, you know, I mean, every gold panner felt the same. It's like, oh, just one more, and then you go down that path and it's always just one more, and you never get payday. Okay, I am bingo bats, so I'm gonna dump what I got back at ship, emptying out the dolly, cycle my batteries. I'm sure I don't have full batteries. I might grab one more battery charge off of this one, because I know that one has some charge left, and do a little bit more exploring tunnels of this last asteroid. Deal with the meat, and then be on my way. Oh, wow. This other charger actually charged up pretty quick. So I have 2 dead batteries on me, but I got 2 full batteries. So I'll poke around this one a little bit longer. As far as the meat goes, smashing, stabbing, you know, kill it. I don't know about killing it with fire. I'm sure that works. I would just never reasonably consider that as a tactic to employ, because you're going to cause more harm than good in a oxygenated environment, unless it's on a different ship. If it's not on your ship, whatever. Again, I've never tried it, so I can't speak from experience. Bullets are great too. Yeah, but they're expensive. And I wouldn't mind getting my unarmed combat up. Honestly, it's a really good way to get your unarmed combat up. Not to disagree for the sake of disagreeing with you, but it doesn't pose a hell of a lot of immediate threat to you and your personal security. And it allows you to train your melee, train some of your muscles, and that way, if you're ever in like a melee against pirates, you hit harder and have a higher chance to succeed in a brawl against pirates. So I've always treated meat that way. It is absolutely exhausting, especially if you're like an unfit and hypovolemic spacer. You know, if you have a lot of negative health conditions, it's going to be really hard to like destroy a ship full of meat. It might spread faster than you can even reasonably destroy it, but it makes for good cardio. And maybe not in this part of the solar system, but it often makes for good profit too. Because meat is meat. You don't have to really tell people where you got it. Just say it's a mystery. It's trenchers, right? It's just you just found some weird organic, some wild trenchers. That's disgusting, but yeah, not unbefitting of lore. What happens if you pass by Earth? So you could check the wiki, but basically there's a lot of zones in this game that are like unfinished, so to speak. And Earth is not accessible. There are other stations, but most of the stations are not Earthbound stations, so if you want more information than that, because I'm not at Earth and I don't want to spoil anything I can't show, but yeah, Earth is not in this game, is maybe the simplest way to put it. That description kind of makes you think of burgers and Graveyard Keeper? Yeah, basically. It's like, don't ask where it came from, just know that I'm supplying it, and if you ask too many questions, the supply will be cut off, and you will cease to have food. Okay, getting thirsty. I'm gonna say I'm gonna be done. I think I've done my due diligence here, and I've searched for what was here, and we're finished, and I'm basically out of batteries. So I'm gonna drop the last few. I'm probably gonna try to hit one more node before going home. I really thought I would get another core out here before having to head back to Port Mojave, because I have the room and the will and etc. So I will, however, destroy. Oops. Okay, so I have two 85s and a 30 left on me, but what I'm going to be doing is grabbing this bad boy. Coming out here for a different reason. Slow down time. So, I believe the damage modifiers for the katana's way best at stabbing. And we have a horn. We found a horn in this meat. Minor spoiler, but in order to resolve the meat quest line, you have to assemble a certain number of strange pieces. That's all I'll say. But I will inspect the unusual blood. Inspecting the chunky blood is congealed, darker than usual, and with a thick, viscous texture. And possibly slightly pulsing. Ugh. It appears neither of human origin, nor healthy. You can, like, pick it up, drink it, put it in, like, a flask or a drink pouch, but, like, I'm not doing that. In fact... Well, yeah, I'll keep the meat for now, and the horn, but I had no actual intention of pursuing that quest line, to put it bluntly. I'm only doing this because the meat is functionally in my way, not because I want to do it. So I'm a little winded from the brawl with the pulsing meat sacks that I destroyed. But yep, I'm glad I didn't mind any accidental swastikas. No, I'm staring at that. I am done them being tethered here. Let's actually stay tethered for a minute. So we've got... This poses no threat to me unless they crash into me. I don't see any weapons. It's one crew. It might be Ceres, but I don't really care. I'm out here, like... I'm gonna protect myself from Ceres and pirates that are, like, armed, but I'm not here to, like, murder unarmed crew. I know I said I would, like, show you what happens when you try to pick a fight with, like, a ship with no weapons, but, like, just know that they'll just, like, turn and burn and disappear. So unless I have, like, a missile or land a very lucky strike on, like, their nav console on first mass driver shot, like, you're not boarding them. Not unless you save scum endlessly until you land that perfect shot, which is not something I'm willing to do or want to do or have any patience to do. All right, so looking for one more shiny. Oh, there we go. Shiny likely. That's our last one. So regardless of whether I actually get any yield from this thing, this will be my... This one here will be my last attempt. And we'll head back to port. So let's stop sucking oxygen out of that bottle. Our suit will only be used for... Oh god, I zoomed all the way up. Suit will only be used for air conditioning. I'm going to pause while I zoom back in. My mooring control and my time controls we're on the same slot. Is there any... I suppose I could get rid of diagnostics for now. Put target data up there. Mooring control here, and then time control there. That might be a better set. That way I can do STN zoom and not have to mouse wheel. Oh, who we have here? We have got a Ceres gunship, potentially. Mark hostile. And, oh god, another Ceres mega gunship. They're both bearing down on me. Okay. I think we know what this means. Heading back to Ceres early, not because I'm a coward, but because I'm dramatically outnumbered and outgunned. And do not want to have to save scum. So, here we go. Bearing 0. Thrust override off. And accelerometer massively, massively, massively on. Yeah, I can access diagnostics via my PDA anyway. Exactly, and that is 1,000% why I took that off of my my nav. It's data I can get elsewhere. So, it's too bad I can't, like, leave a nice EMP mine or something for them. Send some shots back at them. Once I've accelerated a bit, where I can turn around and do that, I will. Just, like, try to land a lucky one. Sure. Let's do that now. They're kind of... I don't know if I have a clear path. All right, let's slow down time to 0.25. I'm not going to be able to easily assess the cross velocity bearings, but before I do anything else, railguns are on 2. Got it. So I've just done coil and rails at 58S. I have no expectation to actually functionally hit my target, truly. And coil and rails. No, coils but no rails, I think. There we go, there. Coil and rails at the other one. I got a hit on the asteroid. I mean, I figured, because it's kind of in the way. Alright, let's continue to be cert. Can't say this is truly putting up a fight, but yeah, we can pretend. Actually, this is not... That doesn't look like a terrible shot. Oh my goodness, I almost hit the... Yeah, hold on. Because the HOQU is not a scary ship. That's a ship I could definitely win in a firefight. The other one is the scary one. The one with the missiles. And because I'm not target locked, I don't know... If I'm honest, I don't know if they know I'm firing on them unless I target lock, and I'm well outside of the target lock range. So what I'm trying to do is create like a spray, an arcing spray where I'm like rotating a little bit and then firing again to increase my odds to hit something nice. I know that they have launchers. I don't know what kind of launchers they are. I think decoy launchers and missile launchers can read the same, and I don't have a lot of decoys on me, which puts me at big risk. I did have some autosaves that, like, I could revert to. But yeah, obviously, if I can avoid safe scumming, I want to avoid it entirely. Now I know that I'm making a lot of script with all of these, with all of the money that I'm going to potentially gain from mining this area. So I don't mind wasting some mass driver shot to try to get a miracle hit here. Some of these look pretty good. I'm going to center up again. Wow, they are heading towards me with, like, certainty that I will not hit them, ever. We got some splash. Something landed. They are still 600 kilometers away from me. So, yeah, I mean, it's a far shot, to say the very least. You know, it's spray and pray. And also, I know my rails are, I got 27 shot left on them, so it's like, I don't have infinite ammo here. Wait, what was that? That was a shot that, like, was no longer reading for some reason. I know the other one is closer. The other one is also, like, pretty toothless. The other one only has 1 coil gun. And 1 PDC and 3 crew. And this one has an armament, which is why I'm focusing on the one and then the other. Because a single coil gun, I will be able to outrange them with my rails. So upon approach, I should be able to knock a lot of their, to defang them, let's say. But I'm having a hard time tracking whether I'm getting more accurate or less accurate. I need to be better at tracking individual shots and adjusting accordingly. I'm mostly firing blind. But they're also, like, massively outside of my engagement lock range. So, yeah. Let's do 2.5... bearing one way, and then like 2.5 bearing the other way. A fanning shot. That's kind of what I'm going for. Alright, I'm going to square back up. The other thing I could do, actually, is I'm going to do this. I'm going to kill all my cross velocity. And that should help me aim better. Because I'm trying to hit a moving target that's moving on 2 axes from me. Which makes it a lot harder. And I know I'm going to burn a whole lot of nitrogen gas to do this, but it's going to increase my chance of hitting them considerably, I think. Which is worth it, because I still have lots of nitrogen. I'm going to slow down time so I can do this really accurately. Basically, I'm zeroing in on this one. So now, let's see if this helps. This shot is significantly closer than previous ones, because some of my other ones are, like, way off. I also have to make sure that I'm not, like, functionally backing up into anything dangerous, right? Because I could hit an asteroid going flying backwards. So with any luck, they're changing. They're moving. They're moving, so I want to swing my... Alright, let's track me. I want to swing my arc this way, because I think they're traveling that way. So I'm going to fire 1 degree in front of them, and then like 2 degrees in front of them, because they're... or 2.5 degrees in front of them, because I think they're accelerating to my relative that way. Sicarius, thank you for the sub. And what I can do is try to match their adjustments, course adjustment. But I can't match it with the like lag delay of the shots here, right? In fact, I mean, because I'm I zoomed away. I think what I'm gonna do, and this is crazy, but I'm gonna decelerate between us, because they seem to want to be a sitting duck of sorts. And if they wanna, if they're not engaging me, I will engage them. In this game of chicken, I'm not the chicken. I'm playing smart, but I'm not backing out. I don't... Oh, I think we just got micro-meteorited. I definitely didn't hit anything. I don't want to get off the nav console to check what damage might have occurred at the moment, though. Oh, we splashed another one. So when I adjusted for my cross velocity and took some super accurate shots, it absolutely worked. We hit them. I was kind of spraying and praying blind for a bit, and then, oh, we hit him again. We actually took out a coil gun. So my relative velocity, basically I'm decelerating so that I can continue the engagement. They are still a beefy boy. I know I'm outclassed still. But now that I'm not actively decelerating, I'm going to kill my cross velocity and take a few more shots. And they're maneuvering, right? I killed on my cross velocity, and then my velocity to them changed significantly. So they're still maneuvering to try to avoid getting shot or line up something, or I don't know what they're doing, the patrol route, etc. So I'm trying to hit a moving target while I'm also moving significantly, which is not easy to do. I kind of have to predict where there will be in like 15 seconds or whatever the time it takes to between me and them, from flash to thunder, let's say. Also fully realizing that the other one is still on a course for me. I get that. So now I'm heading towards them. I've decided to plant my heels, for better or for worse. And we'll keep this up. Keep the effort up. I don't think I actually took anything out. I actually don't know the footprint of this ship off the top of my head, but I know I took out a coil gun. This thing right here is a coil gun. So that's the only thing I know. So I'm not in active acceleration. So any change of cross velocity or velocity between me and them is them accelerating, not me accelerating, because relative to them, I'm stationary. So I'm trying to figure out what... I think they're drifting this way. Ooh, I just splashed another one on the back. I just hit the rear of their ship. Yep, okay, they are drifting to the right this way, a bit. because I'm countering that cross velocity. Which means if I fire, I should be like a few degrees off of 0. Like here, maybe? And now that I am heading towards them lightly... Okay, it is a antenna and conduit. Visor damage, antenna and conduit only. Yep, okay. I'm okay with that. I don't need to fix that right now. That I still have wall integrity. There's not another way into the ship. That was what I was most concerned about, and that's not an issue. Okay, slowing down time, because it seems like whatever cross velocity there was between us has stopped, which means they're functionally stationary, which is the absolute best time for me to shoot them. Taking another shot. Now, of my guns, I've got 91 rails, 12 coils. Copy. Oh, nope, they're accelerating some way. I don't know which way yet. But I know they're moving to dodge. And yeah, you don't need to point out to me. I know the other one is actively heading towards me. And this one is kind of stationary. One is moving twice, moving about my speed to them, they're moving towards me. And the other one is kind of just like floating here, spinning. But because they are constantly changing the cross velocity, I think that they are, they still have nav and stuff like that. Oh, was that a splash? I just hit them again? Dang, dude. All right, I'm killing my cross velocity again. I'm going to slow down time and kill the bearing. Cross velocity and bearing at 0. That is... can't be... I mean, I know they're going to wiggle or whatever, but that's about as perfect as a shot can get. Rails are reloading, coils are reloading. I'm going to take a second shot. Rail fired, coil fired. Another splash, another splash. Another splash. Nice. I think I took out a PDC. I'm going to slow down time again. Adjust cross velocity, reducing it to 0, and take some more shots. I am peppering them. They have a beefy boat, so like my mass drivers can only do so much damage. And at some point, I'm going to need to either only use my railgun or pull ammo from a railgun in my coils or something. I get that because I don't have infinite ammo, but I'm not backing down. Okay, I'll do another double volley. Splashed. They're down to 5 thrusters. I don't know what they started at, but I feel like that's progress. Splashed. Solid. Alright, I'm still reverse coursing, so I'm going to accelerate a little bit more. Pushing me towards them rather than away. I'm going to try to resolve cross velocity. It looks like they might be out of the fight a little bit. I'm not going to assume that until, like, zero crew or whatever, right? Like, they have to die for me to know, for sure. But they seem floundering to me. So I'm trying to resolve the cross velocity here, and they'll take another double volley. Thank you for tuning in to Ostranauts Fire in the Hold, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you in next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow astronauts.